Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live forever? To never grow old? To never face death? Just imagine the possibilities, endless years of experiences, the chance to see the world change, and the opportunity to master countless skills and knowledge. But what if there was a way to unlock the secret of eternal life? Will we want that kind of life? Today, we're diving deep into that very question. How can we live forever? But before we get into the science, the philosophies, and the myths, let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves a simple yet powerful question. If you could live forever, would you really want to? Think about it. In a world where time is limited, our mortality drives us to live fully. So, is immortality truly the ultimate goal? Or is there something even more valuable than simply avoiding death? Could there be a deeper meaning to life beyond living forever? These are the questions we'll be exploring today. In today's video, we'll take you on a journey across time and culture to explore different perspectives on immortality. We'll look at ancient beliefs from various cultures, some of the oldest legends that talked about eternal life. We'll explore modern science and the fascinating advancements in medicine and technology, and even dive into spiritual concepts of immortality. And stay with me until the end, because we'll uncover some surprising insights about life, death, and what it truly means to live forever. Humans have always been intrigued by the idea of immortality. From ancient legends to futuristic science fiction, the desire to live forever has always been part of our collective imagination. This concept taps into our most primal fear, death. It's natural for us to want to escape the inevitable, but is it the right thing to pursue? What if living forever isn't the true answer to our desires? Imagine living forever. The endless possibilities are enticing, right? More time to accomplish dreams, to explore the unknown, to witness history unfold. But this is where it gets tricky. Would it really be as exciting as we think? Would life lose its meaning if we had an infinite amount of time? In our exploration today, we'll dig into what immortality might really look like, and whether it would live up to the dream. Life is inherently fleeting. Every moment is unique and passes by in the blink of an eye. Yet, this impermanence is what makes life so precious. Have you ever wondered why we often only truly appreciate something once it's gone? Why do we cherish our time, relationships, and achievements more when we know they're limited? This paradox, where the finite nature of life makes it meaningful, is a heart of what makes the human experience so complex and beautiful. But what if time didn't run out? What if we could live forever? Would our world still hold the same beauty and value? Let's take a closer look. The fact that life is temporary is precisely why it holds meaning. Our awareness of time's passing, whether it's growing older, losing loved ones, or facing our own mortality, reminds us to value what we have in the present. Think about it. When we know something will not last forever, we tend to appreciate it more. Whether it's a friendship, a job, or a sunset, the knowledge that it's finite gives it significance. Imagine a summer vacation that only lasts 2 weeks. You would probably savor each day, soaking up every bit of sunshine and laughter with your loved ones, because you know that the moment is fleeting. If that vacation lasted forever, it would eventually become ordinary and lose its luster. In essence, the impermanence of life creates a sense of urgency to make the most out of every single moment. It's this awareness of time running out that fuels our desires, motivates our actions, and gives us a sense of purpose. Now, imagine a world where humans never age, never grow ill, and never face death. If we had eternal life, will we still appreciate the beauty of life in the same way we do now? Will we still cherish our relationships, moments of joy, and accomplishments if they were all endless? Some philosophers argue that if we were immortal, we might start taking things for granted. We would have infinite time to accomplish our goals, so there would be no urgency to act now. In this sense, immortality could dull our sense of purpose and meaning. If we knew we had forever to enjoy life, we might not feel the need to seize a day as we do with our limited time. Think of a child who is given an endless supply of candy. At first, it seems like paradise, but over time, the excitement fades and the candy loses its appeal. Eventually, the child may grow bored of it. The same idea could apply to immortality. If we live forever, the novelty of life might wear off, and we might no longer see the value in the everyday moments we currently cherish. Death, though a difficult and often feared concept, plays an essential role in giving life its urgency and meaning. Our awareness of life's fragility drives us to seek purpose, to love fully, to create, and to strive for accomplishments. If there were no death, perhaps we would be less motivated to act, less driven to make a difference, and less appreciative of the fleeting beauty around us. The knowledge that we won't be here forever pushes us to live authentically and make the most out of our time. This urgency can inspire creativity, lead to deep connections with others, and encourage us to pursue dreams and goals with passion. Consider the great works of art, literature, and music that have been created throughout history. These masterpieces often arise from a sense of urgency, a desire to express thoughts, feelings, and ideas before time runs out. Without the looming reality of death, artists might have less of a drive to leave their mark on the world. The temporality of life also shapes the way we approach relationships. We know that people come into and out of our lives, so we make the effort to cherish and nurture those connections. Every relationship has an element of impermanence, whether it's the loss of a loved one, the end of friendship, or even the daily changes in family dynamics. This impermanence makes our time together all the more meaningful. We take care of our relationships because we understand that we might not always have tomorrow. It's this awareness of death that deepens our emotional connections, encourages us to forgive, and reminds us to spend quality time with those we love. Think of the love between a parent and child. Knowing that life is short, parents often pour their hearts into raising their children, not only for their well-being, but also to ensure that their legacy and love endure beyond their own lifetime. In a way, the brief nature of our lives forces us to give our best to those we care about, knowing that every moment matters. Though death is a universal experience, it's not something that we should fear, but something that can teach us how to live well. Embracing our mortality can help us prioritize what truly matters, living with intention, pursuing passions, and leaving a positive impact on others. It encourages us to focus on the things that truly bring us joy, rather than getting caught up in fleeting distractions. Understanding that life is temporary helps us approach it with gratitude. Every sunrise, every conversation, every opportunity becomes more precious when we realize that nothing lasts forever. Many people who face life-threatening illnesses or difficult times report a shift in perspective. They start appreciating the simple things they once took for granted. A smile from a friend, a moment of peace, or an act of kindness takes on greater significance when we recognize the fragility of life. Appreciating what we have. In the end, the impermanence of life is what gives its depth and beauty. The fact that life is short forces us to live it more fully, to treasure every moment, and to give meaning to our experiences. Our time on earth is limited, but it's in this limitation that we find our true purpose, whether that's in making a difference in the world, in loving deeply, or in simply appreciating the moments that we have. Life may be short, but also incredibly beautiful because we understand that it won't last forever. Maybe it's in that very knowledge that we find the meaning we've been searching for. Is immortality just about living forever, or is it about something deeper like the quest for purpose? While immortality promises endless time, it doesn't necessarily promise a meaningful life. This brings us to the bigger question: what is truly valuable? Could it be the idea of living a life full of meaning, passion, and love in a limited time, rather than simply avoiding death? Let's explore this idea further as we dive into different perspectives. Ancient beliefs. Different cultures and religions have their own take on immortality. For example, in ancient Egypt, immortality was not only seen as a physical existence, but also as an eternal spiritual journey. They believed the soul lived on, transitioning to the afterlife. In Greek mythology, gods were immortal, but they too faced their own struggles. The idea of immortality has been shaped by these ancient beliefs, some of which continue to influence modern thinking. Modern science. Fast forward to today, where science has made extraordinary advancements in the field of longevity. Can we really cheat death through technology? We'll discuss things like genetic engineering, anti-aging research, and the possibilities of mind uploading. Could these technologies allow humans to live longer or even forever? And if we could achieve immortality, would it truly bring happiness, or would it lead to unforeseen consequences? Spiritual views. Different religions and spiritual teachings offer their own views on immortality. Christianity speaks of eternal life in heaven, while Hinduism teaches a concept of reincarnation and the soul's journey toward liberation. Other belief systems suggest that immortality is not about escaping death, but transcending it. Each perspective offers valuable insights into what immortality means beyond the physical realm. The key question here is not just how to live forever, but should we live forever? This brings us to a philosophical debate. What makes life precious? Is it our limited time that gives life its value? And if immortality means living forever in the same way we live now, with all the challenges, pain, and growth, is it something we would even want? These are the questions we'll be thinking about as we go deeper into the discussion. By the end of this video, I hope you'll be able to think critically about the desire for immortality. Is it just a fantasy, or it could become a reality? And more importantly, should we even strive for it in the first place? Let's find out together what living forever might really mean, and whether it's truly what we've been searching for all along. Welcome to Brain Vital Channel. If you're new here, we're so glad you found us. This is your go-to spot for easy, powerful tips to grow stronger, smarter, and succeed in life. Tired of being pushed around? Want to feel unstoppable and in control? Ready to discover the game-changing secrets that can take you to the next level? Smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell, so you're always in the loop when we drop new videos. This isn't just fun, it's about unlocking your true power. You have a choice. Stay where you are or step up and become the best version of yourself. Now let's continue. Why do humans long for eternal life? Humans have always been intrigued by the idea of immortality. The search for eternal life is woven deeply into our history, culture, and even our deepest desires. It's not just a modern phenomenon. It's a longing that dates back thousands of years. At the heart of this fascination is a natural human instinct to fear of death. Death, as we know, is the ultimate unknown. No matter how much we prepare, no one can truly predict when or how it will happen. And the thought of it often brings fear. The fear that we won't get to live long enough to experience everything we wish to. The fear of losing all the relationships we have, the things we love, the memories we've made. It's that constant awareness that life is fleeting. The fear of death doesn't just arise from the act of dying, but from the feeling of being erased, of fading into nothingness. It is as though everything you've known, loved, and worked for disappears into the void. This fear gives rise to the desire for immortality. If we could just live forever, we could avoid the inevitable. If we could hold on to our lives for as long as we want, then we wouldn't have to worry about losing everything we hold dear. This desire isn't new. In ancient cultures, gods were often depicted as immortal, never aging or dying. The ancient Egyptians believed in the afterlife, where the soul would live forever if certain rituals were followed. The Greeks had tales of gods like Zeus and Hermes, who were beyond death, living in eternal glory. Even in China, alchemists were known to search for the elixir of life, which would grant immortality to those who consumed it. These myths weren't just stories, they reflected humanity's deep-seated longing to break free from the limitations of mortal life. These beliefs showed that humans have always wished to be free from the inevitability of death. But behind this wish is also a desire to transcend human suffering, to be unshackled from the fear that comes with knowing that we, like everything in nature, are bound to decay. Fast forward to the present day, and this desire hasn't faded. In fact, it's even more prominent. Today, many people are turning to science and technology to find ways to extend their lives. Anti-aging treatments, cryonics, mind uploading the possibilities for living longer seem endless. Scientists are working hard to unlock the secrets of longevity, try and prolong life by manipulating our biology and delaying the aging process. The idea of living forever through medical breakthroughs, or even uploading one's consciousness into a computer, feels like something that could be achievable in the future. It's fascinating to think about how far we've come in trying to cheat death. But one must ask, what if we do achieve immortality? Would it be the blessing we expect it to be? But is immortality something we're meant to chase? Or is it a dangerous desire that could lead us astray? This is where things get complicated. While the desire for immortality comes from a natural place, our fear of death and the unknown, it can also have dangerous consequences if we chase it blindly. The dangers of chasing immortality. The pursuit of immortality may lead us to neglect the present. If we focus too much on extending our lives, we may forget what it truly means to live. Life is made meaningful by its limitations. The fact that it's short, fleeting, and unpredictable makes it precious. When we begin to chase immortality, we may lose sight of the importance of living well in the time we do have. Instead of focusing on what we can create, build, and experience in our lifetimes, we might find ourselves obsessed with the idea of living forever, always reaching for more time. This can lead to existential dissatisfaction, as the more we try to control life, the less we may actually enjoy it. When you chase immortality, you may find yourself more concerned with preserving your life than living it to the fullest. Does that make sense? Are we really living or just existing? There's also the moral question of immortality. If only certain people can access it, what happens to the rest of humanity? Will immortality create new divides between the rich and the poor? If immortality is only available to those who can afford it, we might see a world where inequality is more pronounced than ever. Furthermore, the consequences of overpopulation, the depletion of resources, and the environmental impact could become overwhelming. As we delve deeper into this subject, here are some important questions to consider. What does immortality truly offer? If we could live forever, what would that mean for us emotionally, mentally, and physically? Would immortality actually bring happiness, or would it create new problems we didn't foresee? Can death be seen as a natural part of life, instead of fighting death? Is there a way to accept it, find peace with it, and focus on making our lives as meaningful as possible? What would the pursuit of immortality only benefit a few people, or would it have a far-reaching impact on the entire human race? How would society change if we could all live forever? Are we looking for eternal life for the right reasons? Is it the fear of death that drives our obsession with immortality? Or is it something deeper like the search for purpose, meaning, and legacy? While a desire for immortality is natural and deeply embedded in human culture, it's important to consider whether it's truly the solution to our fears and desires. Immortality may seem like an ideal, but it's worth asking whether the pursuit of endless life is a journey we should embark upon. Instead, maybe the key to living forever is not about avoiding death, but about how we live in the moments we do have. In our modern world, scientists and researchers are pushing the boundaries of what we know about aging, from discovering new ways to extend life to unlocking the secrets hidden in our very genes. There's a growing field focused on life extension and understanding how we can slow down the aging process. But can science really help us live longer and perhaps even forever? Let's dive deeper into this fascinating journey. What does it mean to live forever? Are we really aiming for immortality? While all these scientific advancements have potential to extend life, the ultimate question remains: can we truly live forever? And should we? Some scientists believe that immortality through science might be a distant dream, while others think it might be achievable one day. However, living forever raises ethical, social, and environmental questions that we must address. Rather than simply trying to extend life indefinitely, some experts argue that the focus should be on improving the quality of life. After all, what good is a long life if it's filled with suffering and illness? What if the key to living a long and fulfilling life isn't just about technology or science, but about how we live our lives, how we take care of our bodies, and how we connect with the world around us? Throughout human history, the idea of immortality has been a fascination that has never faded. Many people, from ancient civilizations to modern-day thinkers, have sought ways to overcome death and achieve eternal life. The search for immortality, or the elixir of life, has shaped cultures, inspired legends, and even influenced the course of scientific advancements. But what exactly is this elusive desire for immortality? And how have different cultures and individuals approached this quest? Let's dive into some of the most iconic historical figures and their attempts to find immortality, and explore how their journeys have influenced our understanding of life, death, and the limits of human existence. What is the elixir of life? The elixir of life is a mythical potion or substance that supposedly grants immortality or eternal youth to its drinker. It has appeared in legends, religious texts, and mythologies across the world, from ancient China to European alchemy. In many of these stories, the elixir is said to stop aging, cure diseases, and even bring the dead back to life. The concept of the elixir is not just about physical immortality, but also about spiritual transformation. It symbolizes the ultimate goal of transcending human limitations and achieving perfection, whether in body, mind, or spirit. Why do we desire immortality? Fear of death. One of the core reasons why humans seek immortality is the universal fear of death. Death is a mystery, an unknown end, and a separation from loved ones. The desire to overcome death is natural, as it offers a sense of control over one's fate, the pursuit of perfection. For many, immortality is not only about living forever, but about achieving an idealized state of being, where the body is always young, healthy, and capable of great feats. Legacy. Immortality also represents the human desire to leave a lasting legacy, ensuring that one's name, ideas, and actions live on for generations. Who were the alchemists? Alchemists were early scientists and philosophers who worked in the fields of chemistry, medicine, and metallurgy. They are most famous for their attempts to transform base metals into gold, but many of them were also obsessed with the idea of immortality. They believed that by discovering the Philosopher's Stone, an alchemical substance that could turn metals into gold, they could also unlock the secret to eternal life. The Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone was thought to have magical properties, including the ability to grant immortality. It was said that this stone could be used to create the elixir of life by purifying the body, curing diseases, and halting the aging process. Many alchemists devoted their entire lives to discovering its secrets, often blending mystical beliefs with early scientific practices. Nicholas Flamel, perhaps the most famous alchemist in history. Flamel was believed to have discovered the Philosopher's Stone and lived for centuries. While there is no evidence that he actually found immortality, his legend persisted for centuries, symbolizing the intense human desire to conquer death. Zosimos of Panopolis, an Egyptian alchemist who wrote about the mystical processes involved in creating the Philosopher's Stone. Zosimos is one of the earliest recorded figures who explored immortality through alchemical work. Paracelsus, a Swiss alchemist and physician. Paracelsus believed in the power of alchemy to prolong life and cure diseases. He worked on creating potions and elixirs that could extend the human lifespan, though his search for immortality was never realized. The impact of alchemy on modern science. Although the alchemists did not succeed in finding immortality, their work laid the foundation for modern chemistry and medicine. They discovered chemical processes that were later refined by scientists, and their dedication to experimentation led to advances in understanding the natural world. The Chinese emperor and the search for immortality. In ancient China, the quest for immortality was closely tied to the spiritual beliefs of Taoism. Taoist immortality sought to align the human body with the natural world's cycles and rhythms. Taoist alchemists, such as the famous Zhang Buduan, believed that by understanding the forces of nature and using special elixirs, humans could achieve immortality. The Emperor Qin Shi Huang and the elixir of life. The first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, is one of the most famous figures associated with the search for immortality. Obsessed with avoiding death, he sent many of his best scholars on missions to find the elixir of life. He even sought out mysterious immortality elixirs, believing they would allow him to live forever. However, his quest ended in tragedy when the substances he consumed, likely mercury-based, led to his death. The influence of Taoism, which emphasizes harmony with nature and the quest for spiritual immortality, influenced many Chinese emperors and leaders throughout history. The teachings of Taoism encourage people to live balanced lives and practice alchemical methods to improve their health. Although physical immortality was never achieved, the pursuit of longevity remains a key concept in Chinese culture today. The Fountain of Youth, Western mythology and Western legends. The Fountain of Youth is one of the most famous tales of immortality. It is believed to be a magical spring that restores youth to anyone who drinks from it. The most famous seeker of the Fountain of Youth was Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon, who sought the fountain in Florida in the early 1500s. While he never found it, his quest contributed to the lasting myth of eternal youth in Western culture. The Gilgamesh epic, ancient Mesopotamia, the search for immortality, also appears in the ancient Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known works of literature. Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, embarks on a quest for eternal life after the death of his close friend Enkidu. In his journey, he learns that immortality is beyond human reach, and the real lesson is to embrace mortality and live life to its fullest. Modern scientific pursuits. In today's world, the search for immortality has shifted from mystical alchemy to the realm of science. Researchers are investigating ways to extend human life through genetic engineering, regenerative medicine, and anti-aging drugs. Some scientists are even working on the possibility of uploading consciousness into machines, allowing the mind to live indefinitely in a digital form. While these ideas are far from being realized, they represent the modern version of the ancient quest for immortality. Ethical and moral questions. As modern science progresses, the quest for immortality raises important ethical questions. Should humans strive to conquer death? What would happen to society if only a select few could achieve immortality? These are questions that we must consider as we move toward a future where immortality may no longer be just a myth. The search for immortality is a timeless human pursuit, driven by our deepest fears, hopes, and desires. From ancient alchemists to modern scientists, people have continually sought ways to escape death and achieve eternal life. Yet, as we've seen throughout history, the path to immortality is not always as it seems. Whether through myths, legends, or scientific endeavors, our understanding of immortality shapes how we view life, death, and our place in the universe. But the most profound question remains: is immortality truly the ultimate goal, or is the beauty of life found in its fleeting nature? Perhaps the search for immortality is not just about defying death, but about understanding what makes life worth living while we have it. Introduction. Imagine living forever, never aging, never having to say goodbye to loved ones or experiencing the end of anything. It might sound like a dream come true, a life without the limitations that time places on us. But what would immortality truly do to the human mind? Could it be as perfect as we imagine, or would it come with hidden psychological consequences? Let's break down the deep psychological effects of living forever. We'll explore how immortality can impact our thoughts, emotions, and relationships, offering a new perspective on why death might not be as terrifying as it seems. The cycle of repetition. One of the first psychological challenges that immortality presents is the potential for boredom. Imagine doing the same thing for hundreds, thousands, or even millions of years. It's hard to even wrap our minds around how long that would be. As humans, we tend to thrive on variety and growth. We look forward to new experiences and accomplishments, always aiming for something better, something more exciting. But with eternity ahead, would there be anything left to pursue? Would every day feel like the last, causing a sense of dullness or emptiness? The excitement of discovering new things might fade away after a while. Immortal beings might begin to struggle with a lack of novelty and a sense of stagnation. The thrill of success or adventure would be replaced by a feeling of being stuck in a never-ending loop. The human need for challenge. Humans need challenges to feel fulfilled. Without the possibility of death or change, many might feel that life has lost its meaning. In this sense, immortality could rob us of the drive that fuels human creativity, innovation, and progress. There's a reason we work towards goals, because there's a finite amount of time to achieve them. If we no longer had that pressure, we might lose the passion that makes us come alive. The impact of loss and grief. One of the defining aspects of human life is attachment. We form deep emotional bonds with the people, places, and things around us. However, if we were to live forever, the inevitable result would be witnessing the death of those we love. Over time, even though we wouldn't experience death ourselves, we would see our family members, friends, and loved ones age, pass away, and disappear. This constant loss will weigh heavily on us, causing emotional exhaustion. Living forever could make it difficult to form new emotional attachments. Why would we invest in relationships when we know they are not forever? The pain of watching loved ones die, year after year, could lead to a defense mechanism where we detach emotionally from people around us to protect ourselves from a heartache. Over time, this emotional numbness could create a feeling of isolation and loneliness, even if we are surrounded by people. The long-term effects on love and relationships. Relationships might also lose their depth. If we are never forced to say goodbye, the emotions we feel might become shallow and less meaningful. Without the bittersweet reality of knowing that life is temporary, love might lose its intensity, and we may start to take it for granted. It's in the fleeting nature of love and life that we find the meaning behind relationships. The urgency to cherish every moment with someone we love comes from knowing that time is limited. Without that urgency, will we still appreciate our loved ones the same way? Or will we become desensitized to the beauty of connection? Loss of purpose. If we live forever, we might lose the drive to make our lives count. With immortality, there would be no rush to accomplish things before a deadline. You might be tempted to think, I have all the time in the world, but this could lead to a sense of aimlessness. Many people feel a deep sense of purpose because they know that time is finite. They understand that their impact on the world must happen within a limited time frame. But without the pressure of time, what would motivate people to continue striving for greatness or making a difference? Immortality could result in people feeling unmotivated and lackluster because there's no urgency to leave a legacy or make the most of every moment, the loss of the present moment. Moreover, living forever could create an unhealthy fixation on the future. People might spend so much time thinking about how they'll spend the next 1,000 years that they lose sight of the importance of living in the present moment. We often hear that life is short, and this brevity makes us appreciate the beauty of now. Immortality could strip away that appreciation, as every moment would feel like it's part of an endless future. What does it mean to be human? Immortality would force us to confront one of the most profound questions of human existence. What does it mean to live a meaningful life? As we live longer and longer, our sense of self and identity might shift. If there's no end to our existence, who would we be? How will we define ourselves over centuries? Will we still have a sense of purpose, or will we lose sight of who we are as we become nothing more than immortal witnesses to the world's constant change? Moreover, the realization that we could live forever could provoke an existential crisis. If everything is infinite, then nothing is truly valuable anymore. The meaning of life could be lost because there's no end to make it special. Immortality might leave us wondering, what's the point of it all? The weight of memory. Living forever means that we would accumulate an infinite amount of memories. As time passes, we will recall more and more experiences, faces, and places, each adding to our personal history. However, the sheer weight of all those memories could begin to feel overwhelming. How will we keep track of who we were, who we loved, or what we've done when our minds were constantly overflowing with endless experiences? Would our memories become blurry and unmanageable over time? The human mind wasn't designed to hold an infinite amount of information. Eventually, this could lead to confusion, frustration, and a sense of mental overload, making immortality feel less like a blessing and more like a burden. After considering the psychological effects of immortality, we must ask ourselves, is this something we truly want? While the idea of living forever may sound appealing in theory, it could come with unintended consequences for our mental and emotional well-being. Boredom, detachment, a loss of purpose, and an existential crisis could all lead us to question whether eternal life is as desirable as we once thought. Perhaps, in the end, it's not immortality itself that we should be after, but the quality of the time we have. Living a full, meaningful life within the time we are given is what truly makes life special. And, as strange as it may sound, death may be just as important to living as the moments we treasure. Without the end, how will we truly appreciate the beauty of the present? So, can we truly live forever? Or is it just a dream that we're chasing in vain? The answer might lie not in how long we live, but in how we live and what we choose to do with the time we have. Living forever might not be the key to happiness. Instead, focusing on making our time meaningful, loving deeply, and leaving a legacy might be the true form of immortality we're searching for. What do you think? Would you want to live forever if you could? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing discussions like this.